Bro, it's definitely a seller's market. Like, all the properties in my neighborhood are going up and selling in like a couple days. Dude, there's no way. Like, there's all this inventory where I'm at. Like, we can just pick the best property that we want and get our offers accepted. So is it a buyer's market or is it a seller's market? Let's talk about it. All right, so is it a buyer's market or is it a seller's market? First, let's talk about what is it that determines if it's a buyer or seller's market. Simply put, supply and demand. When you have more supply than your current demand, then you're gonna be in a buyer's market because there's so many homes that are available and there's not really that many buyers that are looking to buy. Well, then the buyers have the leverage when it comes to the offers that they make and the terms that they get on their homes. Now, what does this mean for purchase price? Well, typically what we'll see when there's tons of supply and not as much buyers is that supply is gonna start reducing their prices in order to get their home sold. Now, when you don't have as much supply, but you have tons of buyers that are looking to purchase, then there is a lot of buyers for every individual home that's getting sold. And that's when we saw during the COVID era where we're getting multiple offers before homes are even hitting the market and they're paying 10, 20, 30, 50 grand over the purchase price. Now, with that being said, what you typically see in a seller's market is going to be increased prices due to the amount of demand that they're getting. So that's when you can slap a sticker price on there and 9 times out of 10, you're going to get more than what you even listed there for. And then you have a balanced market. That's where the amount of buyers and the amount of sellers are pretty close to each other, where it doesn't matter on which end that you're at, there is opportunity and leverage for both sides, depending on the microeconomics of the area. Now remember, there's macro and microeconomics that go into whether your specific area is a seller's market versus another area that might be a buyer's market, just based off of the microeconomics of that city and the amount of supply and demand that is available in there. Now let's talk about what affects the supply and demand. Number one is going to be interest rates. That's pretty self-explanatory because when the cost of money goes up, the amount of people that are going to be wanting to borrow that money is going to go down. On the flip side, when the cost of money goes down and you have lower interest rates like we saw during the COVID era, you just see an influx of people that are just running in trying to get as much as they can for as little cost as possible. Then you've got the local economy. So you've got the macro and you've got the micro economy. And how that affects you is depending on where you're located, the economics of that city, of that county, of that area in general can drastically change the amount of demand that is in there when it comes to the amount of buyers that are looking to buy in that area. So if you're in a high demand area, you can be surrounded by an area that is a buyer's market, but you're still in a seller's market because a lot of people want to be there. That's why you'll see that people might think it's a buyer's market, but then they are trying to go in a specific area and they cannot find the right home for them because that specific area is so sought after. Now, if you're in a seller's market, then here are 3 things you can do as a buyer to have more chance for your offer to get accepted. Number 1, you should have a strong agent who's able to find out as much as they can about the seller that they can leverage your offer in the best way possible. Number 2 is considering the earnest money, because with higher earnest money, you're showing that you're just that much more serious that you want to get that house. And number 3 is going to be the terms of that offer. Now, in a seller's market, you might be paying the owner's title policy. You might be paying for a new survey. But again, these are all things that you have to consider when it comes to the seller's bottom line in a seller's market to make your offer win. Now, if you're a seller in a buyer's market, here are 3 things that you can do. Number 1 is going to be finding the right agent who can help you through the process, and so that way you can ensure that your home is going to get sold the first time. Number 2 is going to be price, because buyers at the end of the day, they're going to do comparison shopping and looking at what is currently available in the neighborhood and what is the best value and where do they see value. So if you're the highest price in the neighborhood and you're just as nice as the rest of the homes, more than likely the buyers are going to go to another property first. So pricing it competitively. And number 3 would be potentially offer incentives, because in a buyer's market, more than likely you have higher interest rates, which means the cost of borrowing money is higher for the buyers. So a way to incentivize them to purchase your home is not only for a competitive purchase price, but also potentially offer concessions that will offset the out-of-pocket expenses that the buyer is going to have. So here's a quick story of one of my buyers that we were able to help them find the right home in a seller's market and still get the terms that were right for my buyer. We found a property with a motivated seller. And the reason why we knew they were motivated is because this home was vacant and they were investors that were making no money from this property. And then on top of that, we were able to notice that they had high days on market because they were overpriced. And because it was, not only was it overpriced, but the sellers were losing money each month that they held on to it, we knew that we were able to leverage that in our initial offer. Not only were my clients able to purchase the property lower than what it was currently listed for, we were also able to leverage that time on market and the desperation of the sellers to ensure that my clients got all their closing costs paid for and even got a check back at closing. A I've also been able to help sellers in a buyer's market sell their home in the under the average days on market and over asking price. So this seller came to me and gave me a call and said, hey, we want to buy this home. We found it. It's perfect for us, but we also need to sell our home. Can we make it happen quick? I said, say let's do it. So we put an offer on the property that they want to purchase. We're able to leverage the buyer's market and get the home on terms that benefited my clients. But also at the same time, we were able to leverage the features and amenities of their home, price it competitively, and market it to a way where we got multiple offers on the property and sold it in 3 days over asking price. So in this buyer's market, not only were my clients able to purchase their home on terms that were beneficial to them, but we also were able to sell their property and close in both in 21 days, and my clients were able to get taken care of on both ends. We were able to close on both the purchase and the sale of their property in 21 days, and both transactions, I was able to leverage the current market conditions for my clients. At the end of the day, the most important thing, regardless of the market conditions, is teaming up with the right agent. So if you're looking to buy, sell, invest, or anything in the real estate space, like and subscribe, send me a message, and let's get you taken care of.